What's up, fishing fans? Lake Fork Pro Fishing Guide Ronnie Kelly here, and welcome to Lake Fork Road Report. It's going to be a weekly updated report, everything going on in my boat on Lake Fork in East Texas. Guys, check it out. Check it out on YouTube, Texas Fishing Forum, and Facebook. I'm going to be bringing this to you every single week, giving you a brand new and fresh perspective on Lake Fork from my boat. This week, it's the last week of February. Fishing's been really good. Numbers have been so big fish, great. Every day we've had at least a 7-pounder, and a lot of days multiple 7s with some 8s mixed in. Haven't busted a double digit yet, but hey, we're still looking for it. The water's starting out in the mid to upper 50s most morning. A couple days this week it's been in the 52 to 54 degree range. It's getting up into the low 60s, and dude, that gets me excited, as it probably does you too. We got a new moon coming up March 4th. It's going to bring a brand new fresh wave of fish up. And these fish are going to come up. They're going to be dumb, fat, and hungry, and they're going to be ready to eat. So you guys get out to Lake Fork here pretty soon. I'm going to give you a couple pointers. Right now, my absolute #1 go-to bait, Lake Fork Trophy Lures Live Magic Shad. I'm throwing it two ways. I'm throwing it on a chatter jig. I'm throwing the 4.5 and the 3.5 on the chatter jig. If I'm throwing a 4.5, I'm just slow rolling it. And when you think you're slow rolling it, slow it down some more. Throwing a couple different colors. I'm throwing all the different shad patterns, pearl, magic shad, all those colors. And then I'm throwing sun perch. It's a green pumpkin, brownish color with a little orange on the belly. It's a great sun perch imitator. Another way I'm throwing, it's a little bit more subtle. I'm letting the cat out of the bag. Sorry, Mark Pack. It's a scrounger head. That's right, 1/4 ounce long bill scrounger head. Thread that sucker up there, put a drop of super glue, push it up there, let it sit, fire it out there. I'm throwing in shad pattern. Secondary points, the mouth of spawning coves. Just slow rolling it. Them suckers come up, bam, bam, bam. It gets slack, burn it in, set the hook. You don't want to have too much rod on that thing because it's got a little sissy hook. It'll get the big girls in. We've had a lot of 7 and 8s this week on it. It'll get the big girls in, but you want to be careful. I'm throwing mine on a 7.4 Mike McClellan Falcon Cara rod. It's a reaction series rod from Falcon, so it's got a little tip to it. But I'm throwing it on 20-pound Seagull and Vizx, so when I do get in that gnarly stuff, then big girls don't get me wrapped up, and I can actually kind of horse them out. Second best bait for big fish this week, without a doubt, it's the jerk bait. I'm throwing a Rapala, throwing 3 colors, black, gold. I'm throwing olive, and I'm throwing silver. Throw it out there on 15-pound Seagull on these points, and some of these flats as well on that gold where it's kind of muddy. Jerk, 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 pause, wait 7-10 seconds, jerk, 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 pause, 7-10 seconds, jerk, 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 bam. And they're going to take it out of your hand. This week I had a customer, lost a pole. I told him when they hit it, they're going to take it out of your hand, and he wasn't listening to me, and he lost his fishing pole. It took it out of his hand into the water. So come out here with that jerk bait, jerk on it, but hold on it too. My third favorite thing to throw, it's probably my favorite thing to throw this time of year, but something I'm catching a lot of fish on, it's probably my third pattern I'm hitting in the day, is a jig in a creek channel, starting about halfway to 3/4 of the way back of the creek channels. I'm fishing black and blue Black Angel jig with a Lake Fork flipper or a Lake Fork Hyper Freak on the back and blue bruiser. And if I miss some of that clear water, the Mustang Creeks, something like that, I'm throwing Lake Fork Special. That's the color by Black Angel jigs. I'm throwing a green pumpkin flipper on the back of that. So those are 3 of my #1 go-to baits right now and patterns. And a couple other things I'm throwing a Carolina rig in some of these creeks, especially these bigger creeks where it makes several bends. I can stick the power pole down in the water in that 3-4 foot of water and fish that 7 and 9 foot of water with that Carolina rig. Behind there I'm throwing a Lake Fork Magic Shad, watermelon candy. And then I'm also throwing a little light Carolina rig with like a 1/16 ounce weight, same weight, but I'm pegging it about 1 foot to 1.5 foot above my Magic Shad, and I'm throwing it out there. I'm throwing a Magic Shad, and I'm also throwing a ring fry, and green pumpkin, watermelon red, and watermelon candy. Just best colors, hard to beat. Anything that's green and brown you can't go wrong with. So, man, that's what's going on this week at Lake Fork for me. We're catching a lot of good fish. There's a lot of males in the back creeks, so females starting to move in there. There's still a lot of females on secondary points at the mouth of these spawning coves. So when you get out there, don't focus primarily on the back of the pocket. Still look out on the secondary points and try to find some of those females. Give it about a week, 2 weeks, and the Carolina rig's going to be real hot. Black Angel football jig's going to be just killer. And so we got a new moon, like I said, coming up March 4th. It's going to bring a brand new wave. You're going to want to get the rattle traps back out. I didn't mention that. I'm throwing a rattle trap. I'm throwing a 1/2 ounce and a 3/4 ounce. Throwing red, throwing shad pattern, and throwing black and gold. That bites slow down after these cold fronts, but it's going to pick back up. And guys, Lake Fork's fixing to explode. It's hot right now, but it's fixing to explode. If you're thinking about going fishing anywhere else in the next coming weeks, go ahead and change your mind right now. Thanks for checking out Lake Fork Road Report. I'm going to hit you every week. YouTube, Facebook, Texas Fishing Forum. You guys check it out. Don't hesitate to call me. My phone number is on my website. My website is www.lakeforkprofishingguide.com. I'm Ronnie Kelly. Until next time, see you on the water.